All right, hey everybody. So day 2 of movies. We are seeing Pet Sematary today. Yesterday we saw Shazam. So these, I think, videos are probably going to go up back to back, almost instantly, probably a couple days after that I made the movies, because I've got a podcast to record too during the same time that I'm trying to see this movie. So we're trying to see it during non-kid time, so we don't get a whole lot of fuckers like we did during Us. But hopefully it'll be good. So I spent last night rewatching the original Pet Sematary, and you know what? It's still good. I already had thought about doing a podcast on it, but I decided against it for some reason because I wanted to have more fun doing some anime. But so how do I think it's going to compare? If it's creepier, that'd be great. See, I've only seen Pet Sematary, the original, on TV or on a television through either a DVD copy or last night streaming. So I've never actually seen it in the theater. So I don't know if those things that maybe were scarier would be scarier. So I really liked, why the name of the actor, I'll recognize him as Herman Munster. I want to see how John Lithgow does that part. I love John Lithgow. I think that he's one of my favorite actors when he does more serious roles than comedic. And I really hope that he shines in this movie. A lot of people have said that they really enjoy it. I read a really interesting quick review from Mr. Isaac Thorne, that it got me really excited for the film, and I know he was a big fan of the original. I'm still waiting to see. I haven't seen anything from Kyle Laff. I don't know if he hasn't seen it. I know this is one of his favorite films, but with the whole thing with it being so big, who knows, if this is that Stephen King resurgence where we're doing some more serious type of Stephen King roles or films, not just trying to make a quick Stephen King buck. So we'll see. I hope that it's entertaining, and I think we'll have Pat here when we come back, and hope to enjoy the film, and see you in a bit. Oh, that's great to start the video. Oh. So we're talking about the lovely Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was there, so Sonic was here. Anyway, thoughts, Pet Sematary?
I just want them to stay somewhat true to what, book. Of course, I didn't read the whole book, but give me a couple good jump scares. Come on, that's what all I ask for, is some decent gore.
Some people have said it's very close to the novel. There's more of the novel in this than the original movie, so.
Nice. Well done. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. There's Joey and Crystal over there. You guys have thoughts?
About what?
Pet Sematary.
Oh, well, I hope it stays true to the book as much as possible.
Crystal?
I haven't seen it forever, so I don't know what to compare it to.
All right, well, we'll be seeing it soon. See you soon. All right, so I'm here with Pat.
Yep, sweating my ass off in this hot car.
Yeah, this car's a little bit warm, but we just went and saw Pet Sematary. But before we came back to do the little car, we got ourselves a little gift here. That's Gage and Church.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
He got the same thing too.
Pull it out.
Not gonna pull it out. And we also heard a mom say the best thing that I've heard in a long time. Are you gonna get mad at me if I break up with your daddy if I buy you this video game?
Yeah. I'm gonna buy this for you, so you're not gonna get mad if I break up with daddy now, right?
So fucking stupid. How does this happen? Anyway, so we just got out of Pet Sematary, and as you can already tell, somebody's not very excited about it. So first off, what I want to say is that it is a little different than the film. It's a little different than the movie. And everybody knows what the big change is. There are going to be fucking spoilers because there's things in our mind.
Spoiler alert. Don't go see it.
There's a big spoiler for you. But if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the whole fucking movie anyway, so who really gives a shit? There really isn't anything different between the two.
Except for the long, boring, trying to get to the next plot point.
Which is the different points between the trailer.
Thank you.
Right, here's the point of the trailer. Now we need to get from this point to the next point in the trailer, and it's going to be as slow as fucking humanly possible to get to that point. It's not, okay, I'm going to say personally, it's not bad, but it's not
jaded,
good at all.
Jaded.
Possibly. I think that the performances are okay. I thought that Lithgow was pretty good in it, but he's not. His character is a lot more in it in the book and in the first iteration of the movie. Here, it seems like he's not there. They skip over so much crap. They get rid of, they focus on, okay, so the original movie that was done doesn't really focus on the fact that the wife, Rachel, has the problem that her sister died. right? And that's her coping mechanism with death that's fucked her up. But then this movie omits the whole situation where Lewis has the father issues and it gets attracted to Judd as though he was a father figure to him. You get that in the first film, you don't get it in this one, and then you don't get the other stuff in the first film as much, but in this film they focus on it. I don't fucking get it. And I have to talk about the ending, so we will get to the ending too, because it's fucking stupid as well.
I almost fell asleep a couple times.
Same here.
My eyes were closing. I was trying to fight myself to stay awake. There really wasn't anything built up enough to make you want to jump or be scared, or, I mean, like I said, I was saying this to my sister's boyfriend. I go, at this point, especially at my age and all the horror movie stuff I've seen, I don't expect things to be scary like it was back in the day. Here's the difference, though, is as long as I got a good storyline, I got maybe a couple good jump scares, and,
That's scarier than this movie.
you know what I mean? Stuff like that, like maybe some good gore, I'll be happy. This, nothing. The one good gore thing...
There's two good gore things.
What's the other one?
The one in the hospital, when we meet the little kid and his brain is hanging out and the blood is spurting everywhere. I thought the practical effect was pretty good on it, because it was a practical effect.
It was good.
That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is
those two, and
gruesome to me.
And Judd's leg getting fucking sawed. Those two scenes were well done. But does it really need an R rating because of it? No. This is a PG-13 fucking movie with an R rating on it.
Well, they cussed.
Oh, John Lithgow said the one fuck that you get for PG-13. You get one, and he says it once when he's trying to fucking kill Ellie. That's it. There's more swearing in the original Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Fucking A. It's just like
shitty.
It's so fucking slow. That is my problem with it. I don't mind the changes to the story, the changes to the fact that Gage is not the one that dies, that it's Ellie is the one that dies. And it does make sense because she can, she knows what death is, and he doesn't necessarily know because he's a toddler. But it's so slow getting to every fucking part. Like, I was watching the original one last night, and I was like, man, this is really quick. Like, everything was happening so fucking quickly during the whole fucking thing. And then all of a sudden, this one, it's like, it's painstakingly slow. It's only an hour and fucking 40 minutes. And it felt like I was in there for 3 fucking hours.
It was bad. Very bad. I mean, like I was telling him, I said, I'd rather go watch Slender Man again.
That's not that far. But the biggest change, I think, that didn't work was the way the film ended. And a huge spoiler alert here, because it's just what it is. Instead of him stopping Gage and then his wife getting killed, and he thinks that, if I bury her faster, that she'll come back and she won't have as many problems as Gage did, and that was the problem. That he, instead we have, and I like the scene of Ellie killing Rachel. I thought that was really good, especially stabbing her in the back, like her sister, ruining her spine and doing all that stuff. She buries the mom. Then inside the graveyard, Lewis and Ellie fight, which was kind of stupid. I mean, and Ellie has got Forrest Whitaker's eye. Okay, when she comes back from the dead, she's literally,
Daddy, do you love me?
Are you sure?
You love me, Daddy?
And then she's got those like staples on the back of her head when he opens her. He's like brushing her hair. Oh, you've got something, and there's like staples. So there's something in, Daddy? Yeah, there's something else in her. Like, it's short of showing us the fucking Wendigo from the forest or wherever it is, like, what, that had no relevance to the rest of the movie.
Exactly, and it's like,
other than saying there's something else inside of her.
Oh, gee, demons use fucking staples?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm gonna put a demon in here and make sure staple that shit back together.
If it was like a mark or something, that's one thing. Okay, cool. But
yeah,
like
exactly.
A fucking, I
like a
surgery.
symbol. Put a symbol or something in the back of her head. Something like that. The little ward sign or whatever. Something that is like, this is what keeps it in there. Instead of the staples, like, the staples, unless the staples were used because they removed her brain from when they embalmed her or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but in the film, the way the context, he was surprised that he saw it there, like it was something that wasn't there before. So anyway, so they fight, right? And her with her Forrest Whitaker eye, and she stabs him. He's about to kill her. I really was hoping for it. He's about to take the shovel and chop off her head. I was like, all right, at least there's something exciting at this point. And then what happens? Rachel stabs him in the back through his chest with a grave marker or whatever it is. And then they drag his ass back to the pet cemetery. And then where you start the movie is where you finish the movie, right? So it starts with, you see there's a fire at a house, and you see the blood coming from the thing, and then they flash back, and then they bring you to this point, and all three of them are walking up because they've all been in the pet cemetery. And there's Gage in the car, and then you hear, and they tell Gage, he says, make sure you don't open this for anybody, even mommy, and even your sister, especially your sister. And I was just like, that kid is a terrible toddler actor.
Uncle Donald!
Good kitty. What's her name from Monsters Inc. is a better actor than this kid. And that was a CGI. Boo. That's a CGI character. It's just like, how is the kid going to open it up? And then Daddy, of course, has the keys for the car to be able to do everything else. So,
Daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
You trying to get some air?
I'm getting a little bit of air because I'm getting a little bit sweaty in here, and hopefully you can't see it on the goddamn camera because that feels really good. So you basically kind of get a similar ending, not exactly the same ending, but I like it. I prefer it to be like, he's like, no, I got to try once again. I failed with one kid, and now I got to try for the second, my wife, who are really, and maybe it'll be right this time. Like, the pressures of the pet cemetery are really like beating down on them. I just don't know. Like, I had mediocre hopes from this film. And actually, if you watch the original rant video, a lot of what I said, it just happened in this film.
Sucked.
Yeah. So
I'll give it, let's see, I'll give it a fucking 1. Give it 1 fucking staple in the back of the head.
1 out of 5.
I'll give it 1 Forrest Whitaker eye out of 5.
Out of 5. I'm gonna give it.
I don't think she was that great of an actor.
I'm gonna give it 3 scalpels to the back of the leg out of 5. Like I said, I think there are good things in it. I think the pacing is what kills. If this was a much faster,
right on par with shit,
we are, but I think that there's pacing problems with it, and that's the biggest issue. But if I look past that, I know that there's a good film in here, and like I said, there's good performances in it. And in terms of the kid, I think we're totally split on that. I think that she did a decent job once she went all crazy.
And I don't think that.
I didn't like how they killed her.
Well, yeah, and then the other thing is the way they killed her.
Not saying that they changed. I'm talking about the way that they killed her.
But the way they killed her, I'm like, I'm sorry, she ain't gonna look the exact same. There's no fucking way.
Well, and the fact of the matter is that with the whole thing, like, the guy, he swerves out of the way, and then, like, he doesn't see the little girl. He swerves in the lane with the little girl. Like, I understand he misses Gage, and Gage gets picked up, and that's in homage to how the original movie starts, where Judd comes in and saves Gage from being run over in the beginning. But you have it here too, but he swerves over like he doesn't notice, oh, there's a little girl over here. Ugh, it's just
the mom though too, I didn't really like her acting.
She was actually probably the weakest out of everybody.
And then like I'm just saying, like, you can't say that there's not good child actor. I mean, look at I can't think of her name now, but from Silent Hill, the way she played the two girls, Sherry,
the girl that played
Alyssa,
the one that did Samara back in the day for The Ring, she was good.
Yeah,
I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's terrible. Like, but I feel like this movie is plagued by pacing problems. The fact that both of us said that we basically almost fell asleep multiple times in the movie bothers me. I was waiting, and again, this movie's should not be rated R.
And honestly, I wanted to know where Piccolo was when the truck did fall over. Why,
he didn't come out and say dodge.
Dodge!
Yep. Oh, right. So that being said, this is a lot shorter review than the Shazam review from last night.
It's getting darker.
And it's getting darker because of the lighting thing.
I know.
But yeah, nope. So that being said, Pat, you can plug yourself once again. You know where to find him.
Paranormal Pat. Yep. Twitter, Instagram, and IGTV. Paranormal Pat 64. You can email me at paranormalpat64@gmail.com, and I'm on YouTube, which you can see the same thing on IGTV, but that's Paranormal Pat, Paranormal Podcast. God damn it, Paranormal Pativity Podcast. Fuck myself.
And so
Now we got the rated R.
Now we got everything going. So with that being said,
What the fuck is that on the window?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Somebody put a little
Sorry, in
smiley
the middle
face
of your
over
video.
there.
I just caught my eye and I was like, what the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that? It's fucking Ellie coming out with her. It's Forrest Whitaker's eye in the fucking window over there. But nonetheless, don't forget to check out the new podcast. It's on Vampire Hunter D. It's released around the same time as this video. Go check it out. And then Akira, I'm talking about next time. So that should be a fun time. With that being said, Pat, I'll see you later. I don't know if we're going to go see Hellboy at all.
I'm down, but...
Mixed. I'm totally mixed on it, but we'll see. Maybe that's going to be the next Terrible Terror car review. But we'll see you next time on the podcast and the videos.
Forrest Whitaker should copyright that eye.
He should, and make sure he gets his own cush.
But wait, there's more. So I want to do a little more talk about Pet Sematary and a little bit about the differences between the two, the novel and the film, maybe a little bit about the other film, from things that I remembered after seeing the film. And kind of going overnight and everything. So it's early. I'm sorry if I don't remember everything exactly. Doing this right when I wake up so I can put the video together and get everything ready. But so one of the big things I think that's missing from the film that was in the original film and that was in the book and was really prominent in the book is when Judd tells the story of Timmy Bateman. And that really was kind of a little more of an inkling, like, we know what we did. We know what we did was wrong. And, you know, if you go ahead and do this, even though, you know, Judd kind of explains it, you know, John Lithgow's Judd, where he thinks that, oh, maybe it could have been done, you know, and there's something there in the past, but that story is really good. And it's better done in the book. Now, the original screenplay for the first Pet Sematary movie was done by Stephen King. So he kept a lot together. You know, there were things that were still missing, tons of different characters. You know, the Wendigo was actually a prominent character in the book compared to in the first film. And in this film, it kind of gets mentioned, but it'd be nice to actually kind of see it, even though you hear it. I thought that would have been kind of neat, or at least they could have, you know, done a little more with it. I don't know, maybe something different. But, you know, they cut a lot of stuff out, I guess, to fit this new narrative. And I don't know why they cut that out. Maybe it's because of the pacing. Like, the fact that everything in this film is so goddamn slow that maybe they felt like, oh, this would have added an extra 20 minutes to the movie, but you could have cut some of the pacing in those scenes down just a little bit and fit this story in, because I think it's very important. And they had an opportunity to do it a little better than the original film did, where it kind of turned him into like this cannibal type thing. I mean, it kind of shows that maybe he ate a little girl, but when it comes to the book, like, kind of what the transformation that Ellie does when she's killing Judd and she turns into his wife, and it's led to you to believe that he's put his wife in the pet cemetery or the cemetery behind the pet cemetery. And it's kind of like, I guess maybe that's where you're kind of going with, like, Judd kind of warning, oh, this time I thought it might be different because it was like cats. And again, like in the books, it was, or I don't know why I say books when there's only one book, where some of the pets that come back, they don't necessarily come back evil. They just come back being like dead, dumb animals, like not necessarily knowing like how to deal with the motor skills after they've died. So it's good to have that story in there. And with the story inside the book, he basically is talking shit to all the townspeople. And he's basically like letting all their secrets out and stuff like that. And if I remember totally correctly, maybe it's a little different, but basically I know he does talk shit. And in the movie, you know, like I said, the first adaptation of it, he's there, but it's more of like, oh, he just turned into a monster. Where here, there's nothing that does any type of forewarning. See, like, it's Lewis's hubris that really he believes that maybe he can do it, it's going to be different this time, that really makes him kind of a tragic character. And the call of the Wendigo at the same time, like focusing on his grief and really getting him like stuck in the situation where he has to do it. And when he goes and buries Rachel, it's because he thinks that he can do it better this time, and there's definitely something different that's going to make everything better, and he's going to have there. And there isn't that last, so like in the book, for example, when you have the last little section, you see Lewis taking the wife to the grave. In the book, it's one of his friends. Like, it changes over to the chapter being focused on a friend that sees him take it, and then, you know, he's then waiting in the epilogue at the end of the movie, or at the end of the novel, waiting for her to show up, and she shows up while he's playing solitaire on the porch. So there's somebody to, like, try to stop him one last time. In the film, it's Pascal that does it. In the first adaptation, basically tells him, no, don't go there, don't do that. Here, it's Pascal, but Pascal is telling Gage, well, don't go. Like, what is the hell is the kid gonna do? The kid's not gonna do shit. And, you know, he kind of says something to him again when he's gonna take Ellie, not when he's going to take, you know, well, Rachel, she doesn't really get to have her moment. He doesn't do that. And he, you know, of course, even in the book and in the original adaptation, Gage and Church both die. They both get killed. And here, everybody survives. So it's kind of an interesting take on the way that the film's going to go. The other thing that you've got there is the fact, and we kind of talked about it in the car when we did that part of the review, where you don't have that father-son type of relationship between Judd and Lewis. I feel like that is a big part that's missing out. In the book, Judd's wife is there, and she suffers a heart attack, and Lewis comes to save the day, and that's kind of where they've got it. Now, the thing that they did do between the difference between the movie and the film, even though it's Ellie that gets it this time, is the bee sting. So the bee sting was adapted instead of almost getting hit by the car in the original film, where that's how Judd is introduced to the family. He, you know, Gage gets a bee sting, and he basically gets the stinger out. And it's just like here, where Ellie gets the bee sting, and then Judd gets the bee sting out. And so they definitely changed those roles around, so you have something that's a little bit different and kind of fits the mold of the film. And then the other thing I said, they focus a lot, which wasn't in the original film that much, but they focus a lot, and I mean a lot, on the fact that Rachel has this trauma with her sister, and then we get that revelation in the film that she's the one that kind of caused it, because she prayed for her to die. You know, I don't get it so much. I felt like, again, the biggest issue that the film has is just pacing. It is really slow. It does rely on some jump scares. I just didn't find those jump scares to be even worth it. It's a lot of time and effort that was put into the film. And I think that the acting was really well done. I did like Lithgow a lot. It's funny that the guy that plays Lewis in this film, I'm sorry if I can't remember the actor's name, but he looks almost exactly like an older version of the guy from the first film. It's uncanny how close they look together. Even Ellie kind of looks like Ellie at the same time as well, which is very weird. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. And Gage kind of looks like they all kind of look similar. Like, if you could have gotten somebody maybe that looks different, I don't know. Maybe something could have been different with it. But overall, I just, you know, I wasn't as thrilled as I thought I was going to be. And the biggest, honestly, the biggest issue that I have with the film is the fact that the trailer showed everything. Like, I knew the whole story. You know, the bed scare was something that I thought was well done, and if I didn't know anything, they didn't show the thing of her being at the bottom of the stairs in the damn trailer, then I would have been surprised when all of a sudden you didn't see Ellie under the bed. And I get that that's a callback to the original film, because Gage, that's where he got Judd in the first film, and they like, oh, we're doing it different. But you're doing it different at the same time that you already showed me what the fuck is going to happen in this film. Like, that's what kills me about this. I would have loved to have been surprised, and I said this before in that rant video, that she was the one that dies and not Gage. Because the way that they set it up was to make you surprised. Like, oh my god, here's the truck, it's coming down, it's about to get Gage. Oh, and he dodges at the last second, Lewis saves him, but oh no, it unhooks and then it fucking plows right into her. Like, it's ridiculous. And they did try to make it in a way so that she doesn't necessarily look like herself. She's a little distorted because, like we said, she's got that Forrest Whitaker eye that's going on. Unlike in the original film, where Gage really didn't look like, he had a little scar on his head, okay? Like, nothing else really major that happened with him. And that was it. but in the book, he's really mangled. Now, one thing that they did here that they didn't do in the original film that I did like was the fact that Ellie was constantly changing her face, and she changed her face multiple times, not in the way that the book did when the kid was struggling, like he constantly changed a bunch of times, but at least here they used that ability that the dead kid had, that was given by the Wendigo. So it's, that's her new superpower, is the fact that she can change faces. But, I like that they actually incorporated that into the film. I thought that was kind of neat and kind of cool. And like I said, I didn't think that the girl's acting was that bad. I've seen worse child actors in other films, and especially horror films. You've seen them, maybe not as good as some of the other ones that are out there, but I've definitely seen some more terrible shit that's going on. So, I don't know if I'd adjust my rating that I gave it. I gave it 3 out of 5. Maybe it's more like a 2.5 for me. I don't know. Maybe 3 is about right. I don't really want to adjust any ratings. That one was kind of out. Let's just say it was set in stone. But I feel that the pacing of this film really killed it for me. That there's some stuff like the creepy kids at the beginning of it. There's no point. What was the point? There was absolutely no point in having that other than this is some creepy imagery and we're showing these kids and they're just a funeral procession going, they made it in the trailer seem like this was a bigger deal. Like this was a major change. It's not a major change. It's just like they're going to bury an animal. That was literally it. Literally it. They're going to do that. Why? Why do I need to be faked out? Why do I need to have something different if this is all you're going to literally show me? So, I don't know. I really wanted to like this movie, and I was really enjoying it for the first 15 minutes, and then I just really felt it became a chore. My eyes lit up every time John Lithgow came on the scene. Like I said, I think that he did an excellent job as Judd. I just feel that we could have been paced a lot better, and I probably would have enjoyed the film a lot more. So I'm still kind of thinking, still kind of looking back. I'm trying to find, whatever is out there that I feel might improve the quality of the film to me. And I really wish that I could have liked it as some other people have really enjoyed it. But I don't hate it on the level that Pat does. So, don't forget to go ahead and, like I said before, like and subscribe, all these fun things. Let me know your comments. Do you really feel like it was a really slow movie? If you really liked it, let me know why. What exactly made it so that you liked it and I just kind of thought it was right in the middle? I guess maybe Us kind of spoiled me a little bit because I felt like that was so fresh and so different. And the pacing of that film moved so quickly that even when it was trying to build tension, it was still fine. And I was just enthralled by the story of that film. Where this one, I just felt like I was enthralled by the story. I think that they did a good job in changing some of the things. So it's not it's not when you totally change something around that's been there forever. I get it. I get making Ellie the one that dies instead of Gage. I totally get it. And that doesn't bother me that much as I thought it would. But my biggest gripes are, you showed me everything in the trailer. Everything in between was just to get me to that next spot in the trailer. And fucking companies need to stop that bullshit because you think that that's going to bring people... do you think that's going to make people upset, the fact that you're changing this thing? Oh, we better spring this upon it. Or do you think that this is going to make it so that there's more to... more interest, to get more interest. Oh, why did they change it? I felt like I could have been surprised and I would have liked that a lot better and been more shocked when it happened. Where this, I was just oh, I'm waiting for it to happen. Our Pat's brother Joey was sitting next to me and he was like, oh my God, they changed it? In the middle of the film. And I'm like, did you not see the trailer? He's like, no, I didn't. And that's the reaction I fucking wanted. I wanted that fucking reaction and I didn't get to have that fucking reaction because I see movies and I see trailers all the fucking time. So I just stop spoiling horror movies, like La Lorena. I have a feeling that movie has been spoiled for me. And good Lord, maybe I'll get into it on a separate video, but that Annabelle 3 looks like crap. But nonetheless, yeah. So just... if it had, I would love to see a director's cut to see if it either lengthened the film or shortened part aspects, or you know what, give it to Stephen King and let's do a Stephen King cut of this film and see if it feels better or more streamlined. So it's hard when a movie's an hour and 40 minutes long and it feels like it's 2.5 hours. So it's just not good for me. So we'll see you next time on another, car review video, whatever it is. Yeah, see you later.